Hello guys and welcome to my first knitting podcast. If you're a returning viewer, then this video is going to be slightly different to my usual content, my usual London lifestyle vlogs. As you know, at the start of the year I taught myself how to knit, and knitting has become such a huge part of my life now. It's something that I honestly look forward to every single day and something that just brings me so much joy. And in the knitting community on YouTube, knitting podcasts are a huge thing, and so today I am doing my own. If you are a new subscriber here, hello, my name is Katie. I am 35, I live in London with my husband G and my cat Maurice, Dr. Maurice. I am a full-time content creator, so I've been making content online for the past 13-14 years. I make London lifestyle content here on YouTube where I take you around my life with me, show you my favourite restaurants and date spots and places to go in London, and I also make petite fashion content over on Instagram, along with lots of London foodie lifestyle-y content. So as I mentioned, I taught myself how to knit in January, the first week of January, and I am really craving some companionship within the knitting community. I don't have any friends that regularly knit, and I would just like some pals. I would like to meet some like-minded women who also share this passion of mine. The format of this video will be, I will show you any finished projects that I've been working on, then I will talk through any WIPS, works in progress, that I'm currently working on that are on my needles. I will then talk you through any yarn purchases, I think they call them yarn acquisitions in these types of vlogs, and also some patterns that I'm thinking about purchasing the yarn and pattern for and getting on my needles soon. So that is going to be the format of this video. I can see this becoming kind of a frequent kind of video on my YouTube channel. If you're not into knitting, you can feel free to skip these, but if you're here for the knitting content, yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And also check out my weekly vlogs, because I do kind of keep you updated as to what I'm knitting as and when throughout those vlogs in a more kind of natural way. Let's start with the knits. So my first finished knit is this. It is the Aura top by Rose Knitwear. I have wanted to make this top ever since I first learned how to knit, and I absolutely love this top. So it's kind of like a sheer mohair sweater with long sleeved and this really fashionable trendy boat neck, which is super in right now. I'll link my Ravelry in the description box as well if you do want to be kept up to date with what I've been making. I'm pretty good at updating that as and when. So I'd say this took me about 3 weeks to make. And oh sorry, I'm showing you the back there, and I know that that's the back because I've made a massive mistake on the back row here. So the yarn that I used was Drops Kid Silk in the shade Light Jeans or Light Blue, I can't quite remember, I'll leave a link down below. I purchased that from Wool Warehouse, which has become one of my favourite websites for purchasing yarn on, and I bought 5 balls of this for £14.50. I did not use all 5 balls. I definitely am one of those people that over purchases yarn, like I buy 1 ball more than I need, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it means I don't have to stress about like gauge swatching, and I don't have to stress about what they say playing yarn chicken, like running out of yarn, but it does mean that I always have balls left over from my project. So I definitely I'm going to look into some like one stranded 1 ball of mohair kind of patterns that I can make with my remaining ball. I was super geeky the other day and went through my whole yarn collection and like made a note of how much I've got of everything left. I've got 1.5 balls of this left, so I only used 3.5. Does that make sense? The construction of this was super easy. I am pretty sure it's worked in the round until you get to the underarms. Kind of split it for the underarms and work it up. It is great because it means that you can wear this as a sleeveless jumper whilst you wait to knit your sleeves up. I absolutely love the sleeves on this project because they are slightly flared, which I think is so flattering. I really love the shape of those. So I think you cast on around here and then you work decreases and then you work up, and there is quite a lot of seaming in this project because then you have to seam the sleeves together and then attach to the armholes. As I said, I'm a beginner knitter. I started knitting in January, like I'd never really picked up needles before that. Yeah, I found this quite an easy project, so I am super happy with this. I would probably make this again in a different colour, but super versatile. I wear it with either a little boob tube underneath or kind of crop top underneath as well, which works really well. I will leave links to all of these patterns that I mentioned down below. If you want to meet my new knitting friends, this is Maurice. He's a very fluffy boy and he very much likes my new knitting hobby because you get to chase lots of yarn balls all the time. Okay, my next one is kind of similar, I'm not gonna lie, but these were like my verging into summer knits, and I saw this pattern on Etsy and decided to purchase it. So this is the off-shoulder mohair sweater by a designer that I found on Etsy called Jego Crochet. So she also has this pattern in a crochet design if you do prefer that. Before I show you it, I just need to flag that I wore this on a night out and someone spilt their drink down my top, and I am a little bit gutted about this. I haven't attempted to get rid of the stains yet, but I will show you them because they are kind of obvious here. So I don't know if you can see, but there's, I mean, it doesn't, on camera it doesn't look too bad, but in real life it's quite noticeable. There's like a hard, crunchy, crispy stain there, and then also on the sleeve there is a stain. So yeah, just don't wear your knits, especially the like mohairy alpaca silky ones, out because they get ruined. I haven't blocked this yet because I was worried about blocking, like losing some of that fuzziness that I absolutely love on this top, and so it means I also haven't attempted to get rid of these stains yet, but that is something that I need to do because I cannot wear this top again until I have got those stains out. It's a very easy construction. You knit up the front panel, you knit up the back panel, then you knit the sleeves, and then you seam it all together at the end. I didn't gauge swatch for this because I couldn't be bothered. I probably shouldn't admit that, because it's such kind of like open, like holey fabric anyway. But the underarms are kind of tight on me, and I had to modify kind of how far in I came on the wide neck shoulder seam because it wasn't appearing as very off the shoulder when I did the amount of stitches as was said on the pattern. One thing I also like about this top is because you seam it all individually, it means that you can kind of have this open bit at the bottom, which I think is really nice. It means you can kind of have the back out and tuck the front in, or have it open and just wear little leggings with it. But I really love this. So the yarn I used was Drops again. It was Drops brushed alpaca silk. I thought that this, again, like the Aura top, would be kind of a nice light top to wear in the summer months because it's kind of holey, but I couldn't have been more wrong about this. Drops brushed alpaca silk is so warm. I was roasting when I wore this a couple of weeks ago, but I would highly recommend it as a yarn because it's so soft, really nice to work on, really warm. I actually think I could get away with wearing this in the winter just fine. So I bought 5 balls of this yarn for £14.50, so it was a super affordable project. I have 2 balls left of this, so I only used 3 balls of yarn for this project. So again, a very like nice affordable project, and now I have to try and find something, another pattern to use my 2 balls up. So that is my second finished object. Sorry, I've just got a bag full of all my WIPS here. I only have 2 more finished items in this video, and they are both hats. They're both the same designed hat. So my friend is having a baby. She's having a baby at the end of August. Super excited. She was told that she was having a little girl, and I decided that I wanted to knit a hat as a present for her new baby. So I spent loads of research, finding a nice pattern and finding a nice yarn, and I settled on a pattern called the Danny Boy pattern. It's a free pattern, I'll link it down below. Oh, the pattern is by Cascade Yarns, and that is the yarn I used. So I purchased this Cascade 220 Superwash Merino wool in the shade Rose Petal. I bought this for £8.99 and I think I also got it from Wool Warehouse. So I purchased the yarn, I was about to cast on, and then my friend found out that she's actually having a boy. The scan was misread. So instead of casting on a baby sized hat for this, I decided to make one instead for my niece, because I knew she'd love it and I've wanted to make her something for a while. So casted on the 18-inch diameter for her hat. I think that was 100 cast on stitches. I had so much fun making this hat. I've actually got like more than half a ball left, so I could definitely make another one, maybe one for my sister to match. But yeah, I absolutely loved this because it was my first time kind of following a repeat pattern, and I just found it so satisfying. It was super quick to work up because it's kind of small. The pattern repeat just kept it so interesting. So it starts with like a 3x2 fisherman's rib here, which is nice and stretchy, and then it goes into this Danny Boy pattern here. I do have a couple of mistakes in this, I'm not gonna lie. Like here I forgot to do this little slip here, but like I'm not gonna be too harsh on myself. It was my first hat and my niece definitely won't mind, and again it was my first time kind of decreasing hat tip. I am going to either purchase like a pom-pom or a fairy bobble to put on the top of this hat. I think that would be super cute, or I'm going to try and make one myself. I've never made a pom-pom before. It looks kind of easy but also takes a lot of yarn, so I might go to like a super, like Poundland sell yarn at the moment, so I might even go there and purchase some to make a little bobble with. And I asked my niece Jeannie what colour bobble she wanted and she said red, and I think that would look so cute. Like, can you imagine a little red bobble? I think that's super cute. So yeah, made one for my niece, and then I purchased some more yarn so I could make the same again for my friend's baby, and I made this one but in a baby size. So I used a different yarn for this. I used, now I don't know how to say this yarn brand, Hertigan. Anyway, I'll leave a link to it down below. Hertigan Lima in the shade Light Turquoise. I got this because it's super affordable. It's 100% Peruvian wool and it's machine washable if washed on a gentle setting. This Cascade yarn, by the way, is super wash as well, so I'm pretty sure you can put that on a gentle setting in your washing machine. I like this, but I hate the colour of it. When I purchased it online, I thought it'd be like a really pretty blue, but instead it's so, like, it's such a garish bright blue. The shade I got was Light Turquoise. I made the smallest size, 14 inches, which is the kind of average baby size head, and it is so tiny, so cute. And I learnt the magic loop in the round kind of technique for this because it's so small. I would definitely love to make another Danny Boy hat. I was joking that I was going to make everyone a Danny Boy hat this Christmas because it's so quick and easy and so fun to do. So I really recommend that pattern. They are all my finished items, and now I'll show you what I've been working on, my WIPS. My works in progress. I'm going to start with the one that I'm most excited about and the one that has taken me the most time. This is the Eloise top by Friday Knits. I found this top on Ravelry. I purchased it ages ago. I purchased the yarn ages ago, but I've only casted it on in the last few weeks and I'm making good progress. So it's a really pretty kind of top sheer mohair with this kind of polka dot stitching, and then goes down into like a nice sweetheart bust line, negative ease with the puffy popcorn polka dot sleeves. I knew this pattern was going to be hard, and I was right about that. It's a hard pattern, especially for a beginner, but somehow I'm knitting it. And I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I have to reread paragraphs of the pattern like 10 times out loud with my husband so he can help me understand. Like, I'm not finding the pattern the easiest to understand. Some of the sentences do take me a while to understand properly, but that might just be my brain. And yeah, I'm making good progress on this. So I have completed the sheer top of this top. You start with a provisional cast on with a crochet single chain, which I'd never done before. That was so hard in itself. And then you work up the back, you split for this little kind of keyhole detailing at the back, which in the end is going to have a little button on it, so it will be like that detail at the back. Then you work down to the body with the kind of increases for the neckline, all the while working this popcorn stitch, which I think would be super fun if it was a thicker yarn. But with this yarn, which is a mohair, has been so fiddly. I actually can show you this. I had to like file my needles with a nail file. You can see that like the green colour is coming off. In fact, they're going a tiny bit blunt again now, but I had to file these down because otherwise I just could not do the popcorn stitching for this. But I still enjoyed it and I still did it. I can't remember how long this took me, but I did it. Just quickly, this fabric is the Drops Kid Silk in the shade Off-White. I got 3 balls of that for £13.80. I don't think I'm going to use all 3 balls. I think I've got like 2 and a bit balls left, and I only need to do the sleeves. So that was again a massive over purchase of mine. And then the main body is knit up with Drops Baby Merino, and I got this in the shade White. I got 5 balls of that for £17.50. Again, I don't think I'm going to use all that. I've just massively overbought, and I've learnt my lesson now. I'm going to stop overbuying yarn. So then you attach your main body yarn, which you can kind of see here. And for the first time ever, I taught myself how to do German short rows. And I don't know if you can tell, but I am so proud of myself for doing that. German short rows is a term that I've heard in the knitting community ever since I started knitting, and in so many knitting podcasts, and everyone moans about them all the time, and I'd just worked this up in my head to be such an awful thing that I was really not looking forward to having to learn. But actually it was so fine, and I even kind of enjoyed doing them. So doing the German short rows has made this really beautiful sweetheart neckline, which I don't want to drop my stitches, but I think I'll kind of be able to show you. Can you see that? Probably not, because I'm right in the middle of the kind of bust area, but it kind of goes like that and then like that. And yeah, I'm just working on the main body now. So it's kind of got fisherman's rib, 1x1 rib at the back to give some stretch. Yeah, just working the body in the round until I get to the waist decreases. Then I will have to do the sleeves, and then I will have to do some I-cord edging around the neckline. This also has like a folded seam technique, which I haven't learned before, so that will be again something new that I'm learning. But yeah, I cannot believe that I've got this far on this project. I'm hoping to have it done by the end of August, because it's kind of a light summery top that I would like to wear soonish before it gets too cold. I'm just so proud of myself for learning this, so hopefully in the next knitting video I'll have something like a finished project to show. I will say though that I've got so much yarn that I'm going to have to weave through at the ends. Another hat. I like to have like a small project on the go for when I'm travelling around London, like on the trains, something small that fits into my small daily handbag. That's why I think these 2 hats took so quick. This one took me less than a week, and this one took me like 2 days to finish. So my current travel knit of choice is this hat. It was another free hat pattern, and it is my first piece of charted colour work. And I have again had so much fun knitting this up. I knit up kind of the heart section in about an hour and a half just whilst watching Love Island on telly the other day. And now I'm just saving this to finish up on a train. And this is going to be, yeah, another hat. Again, I originally bought this kind of colourway for my friend's baby, but now I'm just making it up. My niece, I'm not entirely sure who I'm making this for, but I just really wanted to learn the Fair Isle colourwork technique, and so yeah, I think I learned that pretty well, as you can see at the back. And I can't wait to knit this up again. I actually have the yarn to make this for my friend's baby. I was going to make her baby 2 hats. I was actually going to make this one, and then a slightly bigger one for when the baby gets like a couple of months older. And for that I have Drops Charisma. I was going to do this lighter blue instead of the white, and this darker blue instead of this pink. I think that would be a really cute colour combination. So these two are Drops Charisma in the shade Blue Turquoise and Light Sky Blue, and this is the same yarn, Drops Charisma, in the shade Medium Pink and White. This medium pink colour is so beautiful. It's like a dusky, almost purpley pink. Really, really pretty, and I just love that colour combination. I'm definitely going to be making this hat again. I'm not going to use all of this. I still got half a ball of white left from this hat, so yeah, just a nice little train project. How long have I been filming for? Half an hour. This is going to be a long one. I'm sorry guys. I've got a lot to cover. Maybe in the future they won't be so jam-packed because I'll be doing them more frequently, so there'll be less kind of updates. Yeah, oh my god, I hate this colour blue. I hate it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yarn because I bought an extra ball. Of course I did. I might just sell that on or swap it with someone. Who knows? I've got one more project on my needles that I haven't actually worked on in about 3 months. So I started this about 3 months ago and I haven't picked it up since. I think that's because I was just way too scared of the instructions, and when I read them it goes right over my head. I'm just like, what does this mean? But now that have been nailing the Eloise top, I feel like I could definitely revisit this top and start working on it again. So this is the fluffy crop top, or the fluffy top, from a designer called Leah Likey. Sorry if my pronunciation's bad. This is another one of those tops that I saw when I first started knitting, and I was like, I would love to make that. This was like back when I thought knitting was only chunky jumpers and cardigans and that was it, and I realised that you could actually make some really delicate, sheer, thin, kind of wearable, trendy pieces. I think that's why I was so drawn to the Aura top and this design, because they don't really look like chunky knit objects. So yeah, this is such a cute wearable top. So it's knit top down in a double strand of mohair. I am using Drops Kid Silk again, very funny. I definitely would like to venture out into more expensive yarns going forward. Like, I have some patterns that I would like to make, and I would really like to use some more luxurious fabrics for those ones coming up. Right now, as I'm a learner and a beginner, I'm just experimenting with kind of what's affordable. So this is Drops Kid Silk. I think it's in the shade Beige. Again, I'm not a massive fan of this colour. I'm not sure it's that flattering on my skin tone. It was just one of those ones that I found quite hard to see what it was going to be like online. Yeah, for this top it is knit in brioche stitch. Again, as a knitter, I'd never done brioche stitch before, but done it, like I've mastered it somehow. And it looks like this, so it's very pretty, and because it's done using 2 strands of mohair, it's kind of a lot thicker and fluffier. Because I haven't picked this up in so long, I'm actually a little bit nervous that I'm not going to remember how to do this brioche pattern, but hopefully I'll be able to pick it up again quite quickly. But yeah, this is just one that I'm not sure when I'm going to pick this up again. Ideally it would be in the next month so that I could wear it in the summer whilst it's still warm, but who knows, because I've just got so many other projects that I'm very excited about. Cool, and then I've got one more project to show you guys, and this is slightly random, but I decided to teach myself how to crochet because knitting obviously wasn't enough. I really want a red handbag, and I've been looking everywhere on Vinted and Depop and eBay for something that I'm drawn to, but I can't find anything that I like, so I decided to instead make a red handbag. Why not? So I found this pattern on Etsy called the Trendy Everyday Handbag by a designer called By Galk. Like I want to say like Gen Z kind of trendy Instagrammable TikTok kind of crochet patterns, but this bag had lots of good reviews and it looks super easy. So I am knitting this up in this yarn, which is huge. This is the Hooked Spaghetti t-shirt yarn in the shade Red. I purchased this from a website called Rito Hobby. It was the only place I could find the yarn in this particular colour because I knew I wanted a red handbag, and this colour was out of stock everywhere apart from on Rito Hobby, which I think is in Denmark, and it took a long time to come. It took like, I want to say 3 weeks to arrive, but once it did arrive I immediately started learning how to crochet, and so far I have this. It's got a base and it's got some sides, and I think I'm working it up until like here, and then I'll learn how to make a strap. But yeah, so far really enjoying this. It uses a size 10 crochet hook, and the reason that I actually chose this yarn, she gives a couple of different options in the pattern, which is super helpful for like different sturdinesses of the bag. There's one fabric recommendation for a lightweight bag, there's one for a medium, and then there's one for a very super sturdy. I have chosen the one for a medium sturdiness, which is one strand of this t-shirt yarn, and the reason that I am so loving this is because it's kind of like a sustainable yarn choice. I knew that I wanted my red handbag addition to my wardrobe to be sustainable or like not fast fashion, which is why I've been looking on Vinted, but this yarn is made out of 92% recycled cotton, so it is like it's made from like surplus textiles within the t-shirt production industry, and you can definitely tell like it is like a super stretchy kind of soft cottony t-shirt. You can open it up and you can just see that like it's just cut from a t-shirt. So yeah, I absolutely love this handbag so far. I don't think it's perfect because I am a beginner crocheter, but I'm so excited to use my new handbag when it gets finished. And this is like kind of a project that I keep under the sofa and just work on for 10 minutes here and there. I'm actually making a dedicated YouTube video on how to make that. This video is so long. Is it worth me talking about what any yarn acquisitions and new things that I want to work on? I guess I'll just show you these two things. My mum and sister have been very supportive within my knitting journey. They bought me this yarn. I think they saw it at a shop and they were like, that's really nice, Katie might like that. So they purchased this for me, which was such a treat. This is from James C. Brett. It is the Rustic Mega Chunky yarn, shade CS26, dye lot 2638. I don't know if you can tell, but it is so cute. It's like a chunky creamy fabric with all these little speckles of colour in, and I just think this is going to be so cute. So I only have one ball of this, so I think again I'm going to either make a hat or maybe some mittens or maybe like a headband or even a scrunchie. I'm not entirely sure. If you guys know of any chunky yarn patterns I could use with this, do let me know. And then also I have some yarn left over from a project that a jumper that I made. I've got 2 balls of this Drops Air in this kind of warm brown shade, which I think suits my skin tone quite well. I've got 2 balls. I would love your recommendations on what to do with this. I made a whole jumper using Drops Air and it is so lovely, so soft. So it's definitely a fabric that I would like to use again because it's just so nice to work up. It feels like you're knitting with a cloud or like with Candy floss because it's so soft. 2 balls of that. I guess I could always buy a couple more to make something a little bit more substantial, but if you do know of any Drops Air patterns, let me know. I guess I should just mention a couple of patterns that I really am really wanting to work up at the moment. There's this one thing that I think about every single day and I really want to make. So I've actually started a bundle full of patterns that are like next in queue. There are 11 items in this bundle, and my folder is called Want to Knit ASAP. I'll leave a link to it down below. There are quite a lot of tops in here that I want to make soon. They're all kind of autumn winter tops. There's nothing that lightweight in there, but I really want to make myself the oversized cardigan, and I think after lots of research the one that I want to make is the Champagne cardigan by Petite Knit. I've never made a Petite Knit pattern. I know that there's such like a huge cult following around this designer. None of their patterns have really appealed to me apart from this champagne cardigan, which is just so beautiful. I've done quite a lot of research on this, and this would involve a lot of yarn and a lot of new techniques for me. A double-sided button band for one. I think it's got the German short rows, but I've nailed that already now. It says the difficulty of this is 4 out of 5. I'm hoping now that I've kind of done the Eloise top, I might be able to do the champagne cardigan. I've seen some beginners do the champagne cardigan, so I might be fine. Her pattern calls for double Sunday by Sandys Garn and tin silk mohair by Sadness Garn as well. That is more kind of on the luxurious yarn spectrum, I think. But if I'm going to spend so much time in making one massive cardigan, I am going to do it right and do it well and make it a piece that I will love and cherish and wear for the rest of my life. So I think that is going to be my kind of designer luxury yarn purchase for that pattern, which I would love to purchase after my birthday in August and cast on kind of ASAP once I've finished a couple of these other projects. I would also love, I lied there when I said there wasn't any other petite knit patterns that I was interested in, because I also would love to knit up the Louisiana sweater by Petite Knit. This is just a nice chunky oversized sweater using boucle yarn and alpaca yarn. I want to modify this and make it into a short sleeved jumper. I have a jumper which is like my favourite jumper ever. It's like a boucle fluffy black kind of cropped jumper with short sleeves. If I have a picture I'll insert it here. I've been looking everywhere for a pattern for a top that is similar to this, because I would love to have this jumper in other colours. This Louisiana sweater, the neckline and the fabric looks the most similar, and the ribbing at the bottom, so I think I'm going to make this but as a cropped, and that is something that I would again love to cast on and purchase the yarn for soon. But yeah, have a look through my want to knit ASAP bundle on Ravelry, and let me know down below if any of you also want to make any of those patterns, because maybe we could do a knit along. That would be so fun to have like a knitting community that I could like knit along with, especially because I'm such a beginner and sometimes I do get super confused and would love someone to talk to or ask advice from. Thank you so much for joining me for this mammoth knitting podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I moved through everything kind of quickly enough. If there are any questions, let me know. If you would like me to go into more details about anything specifically in the future, let me know. I'm excited to put this video out, and I hope to find a community of other knitters through it. Lots of love, guys. Mwah.